Welcome to CoachPro Consulting. I am Manohar, founder of CoachPro Consulting and the PMI authorized training partner instructor for the PMP courses. Today in this video, I am going to discuss the pros and cons of taking the PMP exam at a testing center, that is CBT, or online, that is CPT. But it is you who are going to decide whether you should opt for center-based test or online exam. I'll also share my recommendations at the end. So let's talk about the pros and cons of center-based test first. The first advantage of a center-based test, or you can say the biggest advantage of taking the exam at a testing center, is like getting the support like exam environment, the exam cubicles and the pin drop silence all works well. That helps you in the exam. You can concentrate on the exam questions, you can solve it without any distractions. The second advantage of writing the exam at the testing center is you get a scratch paper or erasable marker board with marker. You can do some calculations, you can brain dump on that marker board, so that will help you during the solving of the exam questions, and you can save time there. If you have to do any EVM calculations, you can easily use the whiteboard marker and you can solve the questions and you can mark the answer in the. The third advantage is noise cancellation earphones. If you hear any background noise, you can wear the noise cancelling earphones and you can concentrate on answering the PMP questions. The fourth is stability of the exam infrastructure. If you are taking the exams at the center, you have very high reliable infrastructure. There is a very good power backup, the very strong internet connections, and the power supply is uninterrupted. There is always a backup server to tackle in case of any interruptions, and in case of any troubleshooting, the exam administrators are available. They can immediately help you to fix any problem during the exam. Now let's talk about the drawbacks of a center-based test. The first drawback is travel time and travel stress. If you are staying in a small town, a small city, there may be a Pearson GUE testing center in your town or city, or there may not be. If that is the case, then you have to travel to a different city, you have to take the appointment accordingly, you have to manage the resources for commuting to the testing center. So there is always a stress. The stress might be related to the traffic which is there on the way, and you might be concerned about reaching the exam center on time. So there is always some stress related to the travel time. The second drawback of a center-based test is new environment. If you are taking the exam from the comfort of your home, in that case you are adapted to the exam home surroundings. You know the environment, you know the situations. But if you are taking the exam from a testing center, the surroundings, the infrastructure, the atmosphere, you might not be aware of. In that case, getting adapted to the exam environment may take some time, and that may hamper your decision making during solving of the exam questions. Now let's talk about taking the exam online. What are the benefits, what are the pros, and what are the cons of taking the exam online? So the first benefit of taking the exam online is you can take the exam from the comfort of your home. This is the biggest advantage of taking the PMP exam online from the comfort of your home, because you are familiar with the surroundings. You don't have the stress of traveling, reaching to the exam center. You don't have the stress about the time, whether you would reach the exam center on time or not. You can utilize this time in just keeping a peace of your mind, or taking a break, having proper water or something, and then do some yoga meditation before you start the exam. Second advantage is eliminating travel on the day of the exam. Like I mentioned, if you have to travel to the exam center to take the exam, you always have some stress, and by the time you reach the testing center, you might be exhausted, you might be getting tired due to long travel. There may be some other reasons, whether you have the proper food or not. That might be other reason. But if you are taking the exam from the comfort of your home, you can save the energy of traveling to the exam center. Now let's talk about the disadvantages of taking the online exam. There is a very high risk of technical failure, technical glitches. Okay, if you're taking the exam online, there may be some interruptions, there may be some challenges. Challenges may be due to the infrastructure, challenges may be due to the internet connections, challenges may be due to the power backup. And what happens in this case, even if there is any kind of challenges, your stress level goes up. What happens? Think about a scenario. You are writing the examination, you are solving a kind of challenging questions, some scenario based questions which are challenging to you. But all of a sudden, due to network fluctuation or some power backup issues, your screen got freezed. How much stress you would have in that case? And this stress will significantly impact your concentration, and that will hamper your decision making, solving the questions during the exam time. Second drawback is very strict exam protocols. If you are taking the exam online, there is a very high risk of exam cancellation due to moving off from the camera. Till the time you are in front of the camera, it is okay, but if you are just moving left or right a bit and you are getting off the camera, immediately the exam proctor may cancel your exam. There are another drawbacks, like even if you are reading the questions, kind of murmuring, if you are speaking by yourself, just thinking about the solutions of the question, there is a very high risk of exam cancellation. So it's better if you can control all these things, that's good. Otherwise, there is a very high risk of exam failure. The third drawback is risk of noise in the surroundings. Suppose you are taking the exam from the comfort of your home, so you are aware of your own home surroundings. You can convey any messages to any of the family members that you have your exam, there should not be any noise. You can close the door of your home. But still, just think of if there is any noise due to any construction work outside, or due to any heavy vehicle is like moving beside your home. There will always some noise in that case, and that may cause the exam cancellation. Now, the question is, what should you opt for? You should opt for center-based test or online test. So let's talk about the center-based test advantage and the advantages of online test. The first and the biggest advantage of center-based test is a smooth check-in process, lesser stress. You reach the venue, you do the initial formalities by submitting your government issued ID proof and the PMP exam application letter or your PMI ID for the exam, and immediately they will do the scanning process. There are some initial initial formalities which you have to do, and you are good to get inside the exam center. Second thing is, biggest advantage is the availability of the scratch paper or erasable marker and marker board. There are also noise cancelling earphones. So all these things will help you to solve your problems, do some rough work, do some brain dumping, avoid some noise, even if that is there in the background or in the nearby cubicle cabins. If there is any noise, you just wear the earphones and it will remove all the background noises. The third most advantage of taking the exam from the center is very high reliable exam infrastructure. If you are taking the exam from the Pearson VUE testing center, they have a power backup, they have a very strong internet connection, they have a very good infrastructure, there are some system admins available there, they are ready to jump to help you if you raise your hand at any time during your exam. So there is a quick help in case of troubleshooting. Now let's talk about what are the advantages, what are the benefits of having online test. You can opt for online test if you already have a robust work home setup. That means you have a very reliable infrastructure. You are 100% sure that there is no noise in your room, there will be nobody else entering in your room during your exam time. You can close the door, that will avoid the noises, something. In that case, you can opt for online test. Second thing you have to keep in mind is the infrastructure. You need to make sure, if you are more than 100% sure that your internet, your power backup, your firewall is very reliable, they won't create any problem during the middle of the exam, you can opt for online test. And the third consideration you need to think is, if you cannot travel to the exam center due to a special ability which might make some circumstances taking the exam from home, in that case you can opt for online test. But please decide wisely what are the circumstances, what works well for you, and if you are comfortable taking the exam at the center based, or if you are comfortable taking the exam from home. I hope you understand the pros and cons of taking the exam at the center and taking the exam at home. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please do like and share your comments, share your feedback in comment. Thank you.